I'm sitting outside just enjoying the last little bit of my coffee. Mm, not much left. I thought I had a bit more. I did not. I must have just drunk that thing. I'm with my dog. Come here. She's a silly dog. It's Doggy, Doggy. She's so gorgeous. What's this? Oh, my thing is unraveling. Ugh. I need to cut that off, I guess. Whatevs. Anyhow, I bought a really cool book last night. And it's this book. The Life Plan. Simple strategies for a meaningful life. I kind of really needed this book like a long time ago, but I'm glad that it exists now. So I'm going to go through it. So by Shannah Kennedy. I think she's Australian. Yeah. There's mostly Australian kind of people giving their kudos to her. So yeah, I think she's Australian. Which is not surprising with a name like Shannah. Go Shannah! Shannah! So yeah, Shannah Kennedy. She looks like a lovely lady. I'll show you a picture of her. Here she is. She looks familiar to me, so I feel like she might have been on TV at some point. Let's have a read about her. Shannah Kennedy is a leading Australian business and life coach whose expertise enables clients to gain control of their lives and achieve their visions and goals. An advanced certified coach and NLP practitioner, Shannah works individually and in groups with a diverse range of executives, entrepreneurs, and sporting leaders, including Olympians and CEOs. That's so awesome. As a coach, she uses her skills, energy, ambition, drive, and spirit to motivate and inspire others to turn their dreams for their lives, careers, and business into reality. So that's pretty cool. Like, how awesome. So yeah, she's like a coach, like a life coach, and she's written this whole book, and it just looks really nice. Like, I'll read out some of the, I'll read out the titles that I've seen when I was flipping through the book at the shops last night. This is what the titles of the chapters are. First of all, there's Start, Simplify, Stretch, Structure, Succeed, Sabbatical, Shine. So there we go. I love that just from the outset she has actually quite strategically used very simple one word titles to begin with. Like, the minute you open this book, it's like a breath of fresh air. You're like, this looks so nice and easy and simple to do. So check this out. Your thoughts create your world. Like, seriously, how many times do you hear that? Like, would that you create your own reality, or that your thoughts are more powerful than you realize? Like, I really truly do believe that. I believe that I don't go so far as to say our thoughts directly, like the energy from our thoughts directly impact the energies of other things and events and items in the world or out in the universe. I don't go to that extent. Like, maybe that's true. I wouldn't cross it off the list of things that exist. But it's not my deep thought on it. But I do really believe that whatever we think or wish for or desire or dream of, any of those things, they will, from a psychological perspective, very quite naturally modify or influence our actions or the decisions that we make along the way. So I'll never forget, like, I've always dreamed of, like, when I was young, I always dreamed of having a home that was surrounded by greenery, by like a forest or like lots of plants and lots of trees, because I love the calming effect of the green around me. And I thought that this was like one big far away dream that I would never accomplish. And then after a few years of living in my own home that I live in now, one day it occurred to me that whilst I wasn't living in the mansion that I always had envisioned, surrounded by forest, I just had to take a simple look around my own home that I was currently living in to realize this. Unbeknownst to me, without even realizing, I had actually just even like subconsciously chosen a home to live in that was indeed surrounded by utmost greenery and beauty. And when I realized that, I was like, oh my goodness, that is so awesome. I didn't even like it. It wasn't like I searched for a home when I was house hunting that was surrounded by greenery. That wasn't one of the boxes that we had to tick. We had more functional and practical kind of boxes to tick, things like it had to be on flat ground because my husband is a technician and he works from home sometimes, so we couldn't have a home that was on a hill. It had to have a certain number of bedrooms, and it had to, but unconsciously I've ended up in a home with beautiful greenery all around that the previous owners put so much love into creating, and then I get to reap the rewards. So that's kind of how I think of it. Anyhow, so that's what the book starts with. It starts with your thoughts create your world. And totally. Now, this lady, Shannah, she shares her story. And this is the part that I wanted to share with you guys, because I feel like, I don't know, I mean, she is one powerhouse of a woman. And yet, and I'm not, I haven't had a crazy rich career the way she has. And she's traveled all around the world. And she's been coaching famous athletes for, like, she did that for years. Like, she's very high powered, right? And yet I relate so much to what she says over here. This paragraph, I'm going to let you read it with me. Right there. So, not second paragraph, not third paragraph. No, not. Okay, this is second. After 2 years, blah, blah. Then the next paragraph says, then, as often happens when you least expect it, blah, blah. This one, as a high achiever. As a high achiever, I was used to overloading my life. So when the stress and exhaustion mounted, I brushed these warning signs aside as the price to be paid for the kind of success I craved. I believed I was strong and nothing was going to hold me back from having everything I wanted. I was both unwilling and unable to slow down, and eventually my body delivered a devastating reminder of its need to be cared for, abruptly giving way to chronic fatigue syndrome. So I relate so much to that paragraph, because I feel like whilst I am not your typical high achiever. Like, your average person wouldn't look at my life and go, oh wow, what a high achiever she is. Like, they wouldn't, because I'm not, when we think of high achievers, we think of likely someone who's had a massive career behind them and I don't know, traveled the world like this lady has done, or your very typical boxes. Maybe they've got a sport they're really into. Maybe it's horse riding, or maybe it's I don't know, just something that really defines them, sets them apart in some way. I feel like I'm not that kind of person. I'm just your average, probably average with a twist, because kind of person, because I've kind of been in and out of the workforce. I've now been in business with my hubby for 10 years, and I work part-time for that. Probably less than part-time. I work 1 or 2 days for that. I homeschool my child, have done for the last 6 years, which is very different to what most people would do. So and in terms of having like hobbies and things that, you know, set me apart, well, I can say that I was a singer-songwriter. When I was young, I wrote many, many songs, which is like all the videos you see on my channel. They're all the songs that I wrote when I was young. I don't really write songs anymore. Haven't done for years. It's just my life is different now. So, and yet, despite all of that, I feel like I relate so much to that paragraph where she says, as a high achiever, I was unwilling and unable to stop. And that is so me. Was so me. Like, I've been on a bit of a journey the last 12 months where life also came to a stop. This lady found herself, so Shannah found herself being diagnosed with chronic fatigue. Thankfully, I didn't get chronic fatigue, but I did get fatigue. And for about 6 months, I was unable to do much at all. And thankfully, it wasn't chronic. I am improving from there, and I'm still improving. Still managing my energies and trying to work out what life should look like post fatigue. So she had the experience of where her body stopped and therefore her life stopped, and she had to build her life back up. And I feel like that's where I'm at. That's why I bought the book, actually. That's why I bought the book. Yeah, I've been on a massive journey. So I am so excited about this book, and I want to kind of like go through it and do all the exercise and stuff. And maybe, just maybe, I might share bits and pieces along the way. So we'll see. Maybe if you're in that same position, maybe you could have a look at this book, see if you can buy it online. I don't know. But yeah, I'll share what I can along the way. So yeah, bye.